Everybody. I'm a product manager for at HPE for the system called K3000 that was mentioned several times already. So this is the our full appliance based on DAOS and some additional development that I'm going to talk about. Part of that presentation I already shared during the DUG at Supercomputing last year, so I'm not going to repeat myself, but rather I will add with some updates that we recently had. So just to bring you to the whole picture of the HP HPC storage portfolio, to be very clear, we have two product families coexisting together at the same time. And in my later slides, you will see how we really approach with these families at the actual customer products. And one family is based on Lustre. This is our traditional cluster store product family with E2000. This is our current system that is shipping. The E1000 is a previous generation of a similar system based on Lustre, and C500 was small scale installations of these systems. So the E2000 and K3000, they are two primary products that we are advertising for customers. And depending on the use case configuration, and each of these can be a standalone installation, or they could be a hybrid installation that I will cover later. The K3000, as I mentioned already, this is our approach for having the complete appliance setup. So what it means that the system is fully configured with everything that you need. It includes the fabric infrastructure, it includes the management infrastructure, and this is where really well putting our focus and attention onto how you control, how you deploy, and how you can make the DAOS installation easy to use and simplify as much as you can. So the system is designed to run from a small configuration to the large configuration. So basically, the minimum system setup that we advertise is 4 nodes, and that typically goes to some evaluation systems or some POC systems, because as you know, that you can't really experience some advanced options for re-recoding, and so you will be limited with these configurations as well. And with a 4000, that's just a number that we picked based on what our capabilities that we think are totally possible with DAOS today. We are basing the design on all HPE components, and I presented that last time already. So that is the ProLiant-based family that we are using in this design. Quite happy about that. That gives we're very well balanced between the performance and the density, and we offer several configurations of these. Our team is basically performing in addition to the DAOS team. We call it DAOS Core Engineering. The K3000 team is writing their own software editions that I will cover, and also has an additional infrastructure testing that we use, what's called scale testing. So to what the traditional CI environment that we have inside DAOS team, the K3000 team, in addition to that, the test full appliance model based on the different fabric configurations, based on the different user profiles, and they have their own metrics of how they qualify that for reliability and for performance. Well, our main goal is to make sure that the system is fully deployable in minutes, so that when you from the first power on, only information that we need from a user is basically the IP addresses and the user access. So from that, the system is fully deployed automatically. For that purpose, the K3000 solution is running the additional management server, which is not part of the typical DAOS setup. And within this management server management node, it does the full deployment of the configuration of the storage nodes. So I'll talk about that a little bit later in details. Because we are HP, so we go from the small scale to extremely large scale. We provide the full level of the configuration and the support. So that includes the service contracts on the different base, so the 3 and 5 years, and with the installation and the support services. Of course, we can deliver in a different deployment ways. So the system can be delivered as a standalone. It can be part of the cluster store configuration as well. I mentioned that already for the hybrid systems. It can be part of our bigger HPC solution with Cray Supercompute. And the nodes themselves can be delivered full assembled in racks, so like you see in the picture, or they can be rackless. And that's in case customers already have their infrastructure. We don't need to ship racks for that. Where we seeing it, what's the best fit? Well, obviously, I don't need to repeat iteration that we know already. So that's the markets that really demanding for the high throughput, high I/O performance, and markets where we could see the demand for the new use cases, where we see the deep level integration with the frameworks or middleware of applications. Of course, that's the typical areas where the DAOS and of course K3000 will fit the best. We also see that as the extremely high performance tier within the hybrid configurations with E2000. I think that's really important to mention that, of course, Lustre still exists, and the hard drives, especially configurations, they are still common, right? Well, users invest their time in buying systems that designed for capacity, such as with Lustre, and of course, in the current, especially time with all the challenges that AI created for the flash supply, there's a lot of interest to hard disk-based configurations and the hybrid flash layer tier. So that for that purpose, as Ron also mentioned, we have some work in development for the data migration, data tiering, and how we support these various type of configurations. We open to adopt the new media classes. That has been mentioned already, that you will see work that is in progress, and that's also, of course, part of the K3000 objectives, that we have all the ingredients to do hardware migration and hardware expansion when we need it. And the system itself, K3000 system, is designed that you can start small. We can provide you with support services for the small proof of concept configurations, and you can expand it to the larger systems. And that's fairly typical for HPE as well, to support such of these deals. In terms of hardware, I will quickly run over this slide, but I presented it in November, so if you haven't attended, we are using the DL'26 Gen 12 systems, which are Granite Rapids SP dual socket platforms. They lots of memory slots that gives us various options how we can configure the system for the 1 DPC and 2 DPC, so 1 DIMM per channel and 2 DIMM per channels. And that provides us flexibility on the various memory configurations. In the maximum memory capacity, we max system at 2 terabytes. We don't go higher than that, and that is mainly in the current ratio of the total density of the system. So within the 1U, that's a 1U platform, we go up to 300 terabyte density with 15 terabyte SSDs. And of course, you'll see that on my roadmap slides. We are working on the 30 terabyte SSD option. While it's coming finally to the mainstream, to the TLC drives. So not only just one or few cherry pick vendors do that, but well, then we come to the time that all vendors having the 30 terabyte SSDs in their portfolio, and we are adopting that as well in future, of course. We provide the support for all the possible fabric options. Of course, being HPE, Slingshot is our primary fabric for the Cray Supercompute. Of course, InfiniBand as well, and Ethernet with plain TCP and the Rocky V2 support. I mentioned that the management infrastructure is a part of a K3000 solution, and so that includes actually 2 management networks. One is the ILO-based, so from the management controllers, that's how we collect the telemetry from the hardware. And another is for the deployment with 10 gigabit Ethernet links that every storage node has connected to the admin node. So now I will briefly explain what are the key, I would say, areas where we invest from the HPE K3000 product perspective into the development. As I already mentioned, that while we take all the ingredients of the DAOS releases, this is not a fork, this is not any closed branch or whatever. It's a standard branch, but we take it together with additional components that we pack into the system and deliver that as a whole solution. So the primary component here that's managing all the orchestration and provisioning of the systems is basically the HPE cluster management software. It's a package that we also deploy on the compute nodes. In the K3000 storage setup, this package is running independently. So it's only managing the storage infrastructure, and it's responsible for the provisioning and all the telemetry and the configuration. Our primary objective of the system is to be reliable and to be easy to use. So the new interface to DAOS is developed. So that's another command line utility. We call it CSC. Create storage command line tool, which is basically simplifies the configuration of DAOS and managing, as possible, all the parts automatically and controlling the execution of that. So it aggregates lots of the outputs, log outputs, and it tries to do its best to simplify the deployment of a system and pre-configure it with various options. While as this tool designed to support the API, there's an internal API to access to the system, and we will be leveraging this API for our UI development. So in the first release, that's coming with a command line, and with just a dashboard that visualize the system state. And with the next release, that's here, there's a work of a UI development that integrates the full system configuration through the UI. We already have internal discussion of that, and seeing how that's progressing, I'm quite excited to see the actual UI for the DAOS. We've been thinking about that for a long time. In terms of the, I listed here the primary areas for us in terms of the K3000 2.0 software investment, where we think that it brings the highest value for HPE users. Joan already mentioned that we have some work on the design S3 gateways, diversity, and so that is happening absolutely. And the idea is to provide these gateways in a multiple configurations. That could be standalone gateways, that could be hybrid gateways on the storage nodes, or inside the containers on the client. That's work is happening. We see lots of pressure from our customers to support multi-tenancy in different forms and definitions. Part of that, of course, is coming not only from the let's say HPC area. It's more to the commercial and to the AI users. But even the HPC area today, there's some multi-tenancy requirements, and of course, multi-tenancy is also part of what typically you could see in some GPU-based installations. That's common to see. So we're working on this, and that's part of the design team architected the solution already, and that's for our next release. Michael mentioned that of the work on the metadata on SSD phase 2 and how that could expand our hardware configurations. That is, of course, part of a K3000 as well. So the phase 2, we will be able to look at the additional system options and configurations for the, let's call it, performance per dollar hardware optimizations, where you could work with different sizes of the DRAM size and not specifically to be locked, and or with some, as I mentioned already, with the 30 terabyte SSDs to improve just in the system ratio, and especially at this time to consider what could be the cost reduction of a hardware. Okay, so closing on this, we are absolutely excited to get the K3000 out of the door, and the first release, this first system, is planning to be shipped shortly after the 2.8 release, and we will stay in sync with the DAOS releases. So our next major release, of course, will be in sync to the DAOS 3.0. With that, thank you, and if you have any questions, let me know.
Thanks, Andrey. Questions for Andrey? If not, or as you're thinking, just like to thank everyone for attending, and I hope we'll see you guys at the next meeting at SC. And or if there's any final comments or anything like to say anything, please go ahead. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining, and I'll talk to you guys in the future.